Right, here I am with Phil Okwedy in the orchard of the Bleddfa Centre. So this makes the third time you've been here. Where did you camp when you were here before?
I camped, you can't see it obviously the other side of the camera, but I camped right where that tent is here. And the first year I came, which was 8 years ago, a big group thing was the owls. There were owls somewhere over there screeching through the night. And they were absolutely screeching. It was an amazing sound.
And then next time you came in with sheep?
Yes, I think that's right, yeah.
Anyway, you said some very interesting things in the talk that you just gave to our group this year. And there's a couple of things I wanted to ask you. Towards the end of your discussion, you were talking about the trickster tortoise story and how much you loved it.
Yeah.
But tricksters are quite, I mean, they're called tricksters for a reason.
Yes.
And he does kill quite
a lot
of birds.
Yes, he does.
So I'm wondering why, bearing in mind the kind of, and yes, and he succeeds because his tribe, if you like, win.
Yeah.
And the others will die. Yeah. That's quite extreme, and I'm wondering why, because that obviously delights you, that story.
It does delight me.
What's this?
Well, I think because when that story is told, and it's told in the hold of a slave ship, and it is extreme, and I suppose kind of why do I love it? Because of all the things that you just said, I shouldn't love it. There's a part of me that shouldn't love it, but in that context, it seems the hunter, when I tell it, this hunter tells that story to a child who is a slave on the middle passage, and the idea that maybe you need to be that extreme, you know, that you need to be that strong and that self-contained, self-possessed, because the tortoise, you know, he does win for his tribe, but he does it for him.
Yeah.
It's absolutely for him, and you know that the next thing, it might be his tribe, it might be the animals who are next on the list, if that's what suits. So there's something in there about that, but I don't know what it is.
Yes.
Because it's so ambiguous,
yes.
ambiguous, the trickster figure, that tortoise. And he's, in all the stories, he's always bad.
Yeah,
he's always disrupting his society, his community, always.
Yeah. As a blackbird agrees with you.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you brought up in a couple of contexts is collaboration, both in a performance context and also in facilitation.
Yeah.
So I wondered if you wanted to say something about the frustrations and successes of collaboration.
Well, first of all, it's nice because you work on your own as a storyteller a lot of the time, and you work a lot in your own head. Actually, you're here and you're not communicating that with someone else. So it's just nice to have someone else to bounce off, someone else to catch your tics and your whatever, your errors, or even your good parts, your good bits. And then strangely, they're doing that, and it's incredibly frustrating because you're not used to that happening. But there's something rich in that.
Yeah.
In that relationship. But I don't know what it is. I don't know. So you're talking about me working with Mikey Price, and I love working with Mikey Price. But I part of it is like hanging out.
Yes.
It is absolutely, a part of it is just like being together. The collaboration is not always about the actual work. A lot of it is happening just having a cup of coffee and chatting, and I think being together.
I think you're dead right now.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's almost like friends, mates.
Yeah.
It's a really important element, and building that relationship, I guess. So I don't know how it is for actors when they meet and they're strangers, and there must be some kind of a way and a protocol, and perhaps sometimes they do become friends and perhaps they don't, so there's this professional thing. But for me, making friendships is really part of that collaboration.
Okay.
You know, I think, and that's across the board.
No, that's a very interesting observation. Yes. And there's just one last thing I'd like to ask you about, which I'm really intrigued about, and I hope to get the form of words just right. Because you said, right at the end, you said two things. You said very clearly, I wanted my country back. And then there was a pause, and then you said, whatever that means.
Yes. Well, actually, I quoted that I want my country back because with Brexit, this was the phrase that we were hearing, and I questioned what that country is. What does that phrase mean?
Yes.
What is this? There's some idea of where, when was it, what was it, whose was it? Certainly not mine, because mine is definitely a mongrel country.
Yes.
But I actually, without wanting to offend anybody, we're all mongrels.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, if we go back far enough, everybody has this story of a mixture of cultures, of different influences. You know, sometimes things that might seem almost like binary opposites. So what is this country that people want back? And I just kind of want to point out it's impossible, I suppose, without pointing the finger at anybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's terrifying too. It's terrifying too.
But that makes me think of, in terms of what you said about both just now, but also when we were talking with the bigger group, there was a feeling quite often that we operate within community, and one of our frustrations as storytellers is working on our own. And when we get to work with other people, whether it is with other collaborators, or whether it's in front of an audience, or whether it's facilitating a group with something that some people call applied storytelling in a therapeutic or educational context, there's a kind of, that's our country.
Yes.
There's a sense of community in its loosest sense that seems to be what our country is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I have a definite idea of what my country is. And part of my storytelling journey has been finding that community. That's a definite community that I belong to. Whereas, actually, when I first came here, one of the first things that came up was about vaguely about cultural appropriation and about what stories you can tell. But in my brain, that was massive, and I have no culture. I'm Welsh, but I'm not Welsh. I'm Igbo, but I'm not Igbo. I'm always seem to be on the outside of something. There are no stories that I can tell.
Right.
That's what it felt like.
Right.
For a while, and I got through that. But I have found through storytelling, this is my community, this is my culture.
Yeah.
Because it's very diverse.
Yeah.
And I do belong. So I've always been somebody who, when I was young, I liked football, but if I went to a football match, I support Chelsea, I'd stand and watching Chelsea. And there's always a part of me that isn't part of the crowd. And there's always a part of me that's a little bit frightened that the rest of the crowd might notice and turn on me. And actually, if I went to watch Wales play rugby, it would be the same.
Yeah.
Never quite 100%. Maybe nobody is,
Yeah.
but it feels like everybody else is.
Yes.
And you're not. You're always sort of outside.
Yeah.
But not in this community. Not through this journey.
Great. Well, on that really positive note, Phil Okwedy, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael Harvey. And thank you for asking me back to Bleddfa. It's always a real pleasure to come
Great
here.
to have you back.
And I hope it won't be the last.